now we're finishing it up with this. Now, remember when I said that if the boat, here's the metaphor. Let me back it up. The metaphor is this. The boat is the country. And if we continue to spend like crazy, you're going to tip over the boat. All right? And like I said, the billionaires have already bought up all the lifeboats. Well, so who drowns? Well, speaking of billionaires buying up lifeboats, let's listen to this.
I'm on the island of Hawaii, an idyllic destination for honeymooners, Hollywood blockbusters, and now Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg's own private sanctuary.
But there's a dark side to this paradise that Zuckerberg has brought to light. A century-long battle over land that began when American plantation owners overthrew the Hawaiian kingdom.
So now a billionaire comes in with his money, doing it by force, removing people out of their land.
We see these sort of things going on every day, where what little land that was left for us now is up for grabs.
This is a rock wall Zuckerberg built around his 700-acre property. And just to give you some perspective here, you could fit more than 500 football fields inside.
It's one thing to want to protect your property. It's another when Native Hawaiians like Shannon Buckner still own pieces of your land.
So the land that you own is just across this fence right here?
Yes.
But Mark Zuckerberg has put up this wall and fence and it says no trespassing?
Yeah.
What would happen if you tried to go over there?
I'll get arrested for trespassing.
Even though it's your land?
Yep.
Shannon is among countless Native Hawaiians who own inherited lands called kuleana, which means responsibility. Individual parcels can sometimes be small, but they're owned collectively and are meant to ensure Native ownership in perpetuity. The problem is, kuleana lands are passed down through the generations without a will or deed. The lack of paper trail means some descendants don't even know they own land. Other times, under a complicated legal system called quiet title, a buyer like Zuckerberg can sue kuleana owners to force them to sell their lands, usually at auction for pennies on the dollar. And that's just what he did, suing hundreds and infuriating many more.
Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. There's more of this video. That was just 2 minutes of a 7-minute video. So I'm going to link this. I found this on Twitter, and it's messed up. This is messed up. So we have Bill Gates buying up all the farmland in America. We have Mark Zuckerberg just snatching up by force, suing actual natives of Hawaii who were, and the reason they did this is to keep it so that the Hawaiian Islands couldn't be co-opted by billionaires. Right? That's the whole point, is so that the land inside on the Hawaiian Islands themselves would in some capacity be held by natives, right, that have been there for a very long time. Their families have been there for a very long time. And so this is what we get. This is exactly the shit we get. And right? And what happens? That asshole Zuckerberg gets away with it because he's got all the money, right? And he's not the only one. There's a bunch of them. There's Bezos, there's Bill Gates, there's you name it, right? Like you can just track it all down and find one asshole after another. There's Oprah Winfrey, and they all say there's George Soros, and they're all like, oh, hey, by the way, we're doing all this good shit for people. Yeah, fine. But what about this? Right? Like, notice the good shit they want to do for people ends when they want their own shit, right? And of course, right, they chase the power because they've got the money, et cetera, so on. I don't need to tell you guys anything about this. You know, but maybe you didn't know about this in particular, that I saw the headlines that he had purchased more land in Hawaii. However, I didn't realize that it was literally by suing natives that had passed this land down from generation to generation. And part of it was put in place so that this type of stuff wouldn't happen. Think about it. If you have so much money, you could probably buy up the whole damn island, right? Of Kauai. You could buy up the whole damn island, right? Assuming it was allowed. And these guys have more money than God, as it were. So it's not right. This is not right. This is not right. So right from the Twitter post here, Mark Zuckerberg has bought 600 acres on Kauai from a nonprofit for $53 million, nearly doubling his land holding in Hawaii. Here's a look back at when he sued Native Hawaiians to force them to sell their land to secure his previous 700-acre property. And this is the type of stuff that goes on, right? And so does this get headlines? No. What does? Oh, Zuckerberg bought some property in Hawaii. Oh, all right. That's what gets headlines. How he did it, how he's suing people, how he's literally stealing. No, right? Because legally, it's stealing is legal if you jump through the loopholes and have the fancy lawyer.